LeBron. So by any numerical stance, if all you're looking at is championships, Bill Russell is the greatest player ever. But if you're taking other things into consideration, people want to say Michael Jordan. So if you're just looking at championships, if that's the criteria that we're going to use, and it seems to be that's the criteria that Michael Jordan is using, why do we keep anointing him the GOAT? Because 11 is way more than 6. And Bill Russell, in 13 years, went to 12 finals. He lost 1. 11-1. The man ain't even got enough fingers to put all them rings on. And you, Michael Jordan, gonna sit there and talk about he the GOAT. You not the GOAT. Bill Russell's the GOAT.
What up? It's your boy, back again. Marlo Knows Basketball and Marlo Knows Boxing. Back at y'all with another one. It's been a crazy week, man. It's been a crazy week. LeBron James, of course, has been going off on Stephen A. Smith. It seems like everybody is taking LeBron's side. And it seems that the support for LeBron being the GOAT, based on this beef with Stephen A. Smith, has somehow started to help or push more people into saying that LeBron's the GOAT louder over Jordan. And of course, LeBron doesn't really have an argument. When you start bringing up actual facts to shut the argument down, which it shuts it down every single time, and there's never been a legitimate response to, well, Jordan has more championships than LeBron, has more finals MVPs than LeBron, has more MVPs than LeBron, has more defensive player of the years, scoring titles, etc., etc. It backs the LeBron fans into a corner in which they have to bring up Bill Russell. And this is their go-to every single time. They can't make a legitimate argument for LeBron over Jordan. So since they can't make a legitimate argument, they have to bring other players into it. Most of the time, they bring up Bill Russell. They used to try to bring up Robert Horry, say, well, Robert Horry had 7 championships to Jordan's 6. But Robert Horry obviously is a role player. And so that argument quickly fell apart and made people look stupid. So they stopped using Robert Horry and they started using Bill Russell. Well, Bill Russell has 11 championships. That's way more than 6. Yes, that is true. 11 is more than 6. But the argument for Jordan being the GOAT has never been just about championships, which is why the Robert Horry argument quickly fell apart, because, of course, you look stupid trying to say a guy with 7 championships, but he was always the 5th best player on the team, is better than Jordan. So, of course, Bill Russell is an MVP with 11 championships to Michael Jordan's 6 championships. So that's why they went to Bill Russell. Although the Bill Russell argument is not as stupid as the Robert Horry argument, but in my opinion, it's still pretty stupid. Because when you look at their actual numbers, Michael Jordan averaged 30 points a game for his career. Bill Russell averaged only 15 points per game. 15 points per game. And this is the guy that you're going to choose to go against Michael Jordan. He doesn't have the numbers. And when you go to playoff stats, the comparison looks just as bad. Michael Jordan averaged 33 points a game in the playoffs for his career in the playoffs. Bill Russell only averaged 16. And then when you look at what they did in the NBA Finals, Michael Jordan, again, 33 points a game in the NBA Finals. Bill Russell, again, only 16 points a game in the NBA Finals. This is not a fair comparison. Bill Russell's championships, he wasn't contributing on the level that Michael Jordan was. Michael Jordan's numbers were way better. It's not just about the championships. It's about the numbers as well as the championships. And Michael Jordan is still on a whole nother level. And not only are Jordan's scoring numbers astronomically better than Bill Russell's, his efficiency also was astronomically better. Michael Jordan had a true shooting percentage of 56.9% for his career, which is a pretty good true shooting percentage. He was pretty darn efficient. Not only was Bill Russell only averaging 15 points a game for his career, which is what role players average normally, his efficiency was awful, terrible, extraordinarily bad, all-time historically bad. 47.1% true shooting percentage. That is terrible. That is terrible, especially when you're only averaging 15 points a game. That's awful. Bill Russell was actually hurting his team by taking shots. That's how bad he was offensively. His efficiency was off the charts terrible. Terrible. Bill Russell is an all-time terribly bad offensive player. Yes, he was great defensively. Yes, he got a lot of rebounds. All-time great defensive player. But he was all-time bad offensively. So what do you get when you mix an all-time bad defensive player and an all-time bad offensive player? You're all-time bad on one side of the ball, all-time great on the other side of the ball. You mix those two together, you have an average player. So Bill Russell was mid at best. He was an average player, even for his era. By contrast, Michael Jordan was all-time great offensively. Probably the greatest offensive player of all time. And on the other side of the ball, defensively, he was a defensive player of the year. 9 times first team All-NBA defense. So he was great defensively as well as offensively. All-time great offensively and all-time great defensively on both sides of the ball. So he's just all around all-time great. So obviously, with Jordan being all-time great on both sides of the ball, his championships are better than Bill Russell's. And that's just talking about these two players only. Just talking about Bill Russell and Michael Jordan. We also have to put into context what kind of help and what kind of teams were they winning these championships on. Bill Russell was drafted in 1956. He was drafted in 1956. What I have here, pulled up right here, right now, is the All-NBA teams of every year that Bill Russell played in the NBA. The All-NBA teams. This is the list right here. So when Bill Russell was drafted in 1956, he was drafted onto a Boston Celtics team who already had 2 All-NBA first-team players on the team. Bob Cousy and Bill Sharman. Bill Russell won his first championship in 1957. And Bob Cousy and Bill Sharman were again in 1957 first team All-NBA players. And in 1957, Bill Russell didn't make All-NBA at all. He didn't make the All-NBA team at all. Back then it was only first and second team. He didn't make first or second team. So for Bill Russell's first championship, he wasn't even the third best player. He wasn't even the second best player on his team. He had 2 first team All-NBA teammates, and he didn't make All-NBA at all. So, like, what are we talking about here as far as 11 championships? Yes, 11 championships, but how did you win those 11 championships? We talked about the number. Now we're going to continue to talk about the help. So then the next year, in 1958, Bill Russell makes second team All-NBA. But he again has 2 first team All-NBA teammates who were better than him. They were first team All-NBA. He was second team All-NBA. The year prior, he didn't make it at all. That's 2 first team All-NBA teammates. And then we go to the next year. Again, 2 first-team All-NBA teammates. He finally makes first-team All-NBA himself in 59. Finally, for the first time in his career, he's a first-team All-NBA player. But he still has 2 teammates that are also first-team All-NBA. Then you go to the next year, 1960. Again, 2 All-NBA teammates. Bob Cousy and Bill Sherman. They made All-NBA every single year. They were making it before him. They won a championship with them as All-NBA players when Bill Russell wasn't an All-NBA player. And they won a championship like that. Then you go to the next year, 1960-61. Again, 2 All-NBA teammates. Bob Cousy and this time Tom Heinsohn. Again, Bill Russell, 2 All-NBA teammates. And then you go to the next year. Again, 2 All-NBA teammates. And the next year, again, 2 All-NBA teammates. And the next year, again, 2 All-NBA teammates. And again, the next year, we up to 1965 now. We almost through his whole career. He played 13 years. We already on year 9. And again, this must have been an off year for them because this time he only has 1 All-NBA teammate. First time in his career was year 9 for Bill Russell where he didn't have at least 2 All-NBA teammates. Then we move to the next year. We up to 1966. And again, 2 All-NBA teammates. John Havlicek and Sam Jones. This man's had more help than an 80-year-old man in a nursing home. And then the next year, still 1 All-NBA teammate in Sam Jones in 1967. Then we go to 1968. Again, 1 All-NBA teammate in John Havlicek. He must have felt like he didn't have any help. He only had 1 All-NBA teammate instead of his usual 2. And then we get to his last year in the league. In 1969, he only had 1 All-NBA teammate in John Havlicek. But Bill Russell himself in 1969 was not an All-NBA player. The only All-NBA player on the Celtics, on the 1969 Celtics, was John Havlicek. And you compare that to Jordan, who for all 6 of his championships, obviously he was first team All-NBA, all 6 of those championships. Not only All-NBA, All-NBA first team. And when you look at Michael Jordan's career, he was drafted in 1984. His first year was 84-85. That year he made second team All-NBA. Of course, he had no All-NBA teammates. So that's 0 All-NBA teammates for his first year. 0 All-NBA teammates in 86 for his second year. And that was the year where he broke his foot. So he himself didn't make All-NBA because he only played like 13 games of the regular season. The only year of his career besides the Washington Wizards years where he didn't make All-NBA. And then you get to 87, Michael Jordan makes first team All-NBA for the first time in his career in year 3. Of course, he has no All-NBA teammates on his team at all versus Bill Russell, who had one every single year. In most cases, 2 All-NBA teammates every single year of his career versus Michael Jordan, who we're up to year 3 and still hasn't played with 1. And then we go to 1988, year 4. Again, no All-NBA teammates. And we get to year 5, again, no All-NBA teammates. And this was the year where they added a third team All-NBA. Still no All-NBA teammates. And then we get to year 6, 1990. Still no All-NBA teammates. Jordan all by his lonesome. And then we get to 1991 where Jordan wins his first championship. And again, no All-NBA teammates. First team, second team, or third team. No All-NBA teammates. And he wins the championship still with no teammate that made All-NBA. No All-NBA teammate still able to win the championship. When, of course, Bill Russell played with at least 2 for the majority of his career, at least had 1 All-NBA teammate every single year of his career. And then we go to 92. The first year that Jordan actually had an All-NBA teammate. Scottie Pippen made second team. Then we get to 1993. And again, Jordan has 1 All-NBA teammate in Scottie Pippen. And he made third team All-NBA. If we're going to compare this to Bill Russell, we should only be talking about first and second team All-NBA. So if that's the case, then again, Jordan does not have a first or second team All-NBA teammate like Bill Russell had for his entire career. And then Jordan comes back. His first full season back after playing baseball. He comes back in 96, and Scottie Pippen makes first team All-NBA. And then we go to 97. Again, Scottie Pippen makes second team All-NBA. And then the last championship, which was in 1998. Again, Jordan does not have a first or second team All-NBA teammate. Scottie Pippen made third team All-NBA. Didn't make second or first. So that's 3 out of Jordan's 6 championships where he did not have a first or second team All-NBA teammate. When again, Bill Russell had an All-NBA first or second team teammate, at least 1 for his entire career. He had 2 All-NBA first or second team teammates for the majority of his career. And with every point that I've made, I've yet to bring up the fact that during the 1950s and 60s, when Bill Russell was winning those championships, there was only 8 or 9 teams in the NBA for the majority of that time. And there were only like 2 or 3 black players allowed to play on a team in the NBA. So he was not even playing against the best players in the world. And there were only 8 or 9 teams. So there were a very limited amount of players that were even allowed in the NBA. A lot of the best players in the world during that period of time were playing in other leagues like the ABA and other leagues. So Bill Russell didn't even play against the best competition. So obviously, as great as it seems to win 11 championships, no, it's not the same. It's not better than Jordan winning 6, because Bill Russell had way more help than Michael Jordan. And if you actually look at the performances that Bill Russell was putting on during those years, he was terrible offensively and great defensively, which when you combine those together, he was an average player. What's getting old is the fact that whenever you debate these bronzexuals, these people that want to push LeBron ahead of Jordan and just say that LeBron's the GOAT without a legitimate argument, what's getting annoying is the fact that when you start bringing up facts like championships, MVPs, Defensive Player of the Years, etc., they always have to bring up other players. They have to bring up Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bill Russell. They have to bring up Kobe Bryant, Hakeem Olajuwon, this guy, that guy, this guy, that guy. Like, you have to bring up so many other people when we're just talking about LeBron and Jordan. But you can't just keep it at LeBron and Jordan. You have to bring up Bill Russell because you don't have an argument. You have to bring up Kobe Bryant. You have to bring up Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You have to bring up Tim Duncan because you don't have an argument. At some point, we're going to have to cut the crap. At some point, LeBron fans and LeBron himself is going to have to cut the crap. You're not going to be greater than Michael Jordan by obtaining all-time totality records, like all-time leading scorer. I have the most points in NBA history. I have the most this in NBA history, or the most that. Because LeBron also has the most missed shots in NBA history. LeBron also has the most turnovers in NBA history. So that's not going to work. To be better than Michael Jordan, LeBron, you're going to need another MVP. Michael Jordan has 5 MVPs. You only have 4. You're going to need 2 more championships. Again, LeBron, you only have 4 championships. Jordan has 6. You're going to need 2 more finals MVPs. You're going to need a Defensive Player of the Year award. LeBron, you don't have a Defensive Player of the Year. Jordan has a Defensive Player of the Year. You need one to be better than him, or at least catch up to him. Y'all got to stop with these arguments that don't make any sense. And bringing up Bill Russell is not going to help. It's not going to help your argument. The fact is, Jordan is the GOAT. He has the stats to back it up. He has the championships to back it up. And he has the accolades to back it up. He has all 3. You have to have all 3, and he's the only one that has all 3. Bill Russell doesn't have the offensive stats to back it up. He was terrible offensively. Wilt Chamberlain doesn't have the championships to back it up. He didn't win enough. Michael Jordan's the only one that did everything. And for LeBron to be better than him, he needs to do everything. He needs to pass him in championships. He needs to pass him in MVPs. And he hasn't done it. And that is the reason why LeBron James is still playing. He's chasing ghosts in Chicago. He said it himself. That's the only reason why he's still playing. He's a billionaire. He don't need the money. If he felt like he did enough to be the greatest player of all time, he would have been quit. But he's still playing because he knows he's not. He knows deep down inside that he is not the greatest of all time. He knows that he needs another couple championships. He needs another MVP. He needs to add to his resume. He needs to add to his resume to become greater than Michael Jordan. And he has his chance this year. Him and Luka they just won last night, but they aren't looking too good going into the playoffs. They done lost like 3 of the last 4 games. They're making terrible. LeBron's making terrible mistakes that he shouldn't make in the clutch, losing critical games when they're jockeying for playoff position. At this point, LeBron, Luka, and JJ Redick need to figure it out. But LeBron, you need to win more championships, and you know that before you can be considered greater than Jordan. And this is not generational. It's always been judged based on stats, accolades, and championships. And LeBron has not passed Jordan. Jordan is the greatest of all time, period. That's a fact. It's not generational.
I think it's generational.
It's not generational. And I hate when people are like, I'm a product of my time. No, like, I didn't need to watch Jordan play to know that he's the GOAT. When somebody asks me who is the GOAT, it's Michael Jordan. I know the history of basketball. This man has 6 championships, 2 3-peats. He retired, came back, and did it again. Offensive Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year in the same year. And let's not even talk about how he changed the game between athletes and sneaker deals. I mean, the list goes on and on. It's Michael Jordan.